And gun manufacturers in the gun industry is happy to let you know in the middle of all this death, hey, guess what we got? We have a new AR-15 that can actually pierce Kevlar, and we're ready to give it to civilians. Ready to put this in the hands of civilians. You think I'm lying? I'm looking at this in Insider. A gun company is marketing a civilian version of a powerful new U.S. Army rifle. An Army rifle going to civilians. Yeah. The gun has become commercially available at a time of increased calls for gun control. The gun can tear through body armor at extended ranges, according to the Daily Beast. And cops were scared to go into the classroom with that last shooting. Yeah. Now imagine if you have a weapon. Yeah. Uvalde. Yeah. Now imagine they have a weapon where they can actually pierce, Kevlar of people who, again, are trying to protect us. That doesn't mean, this is sick, y'all.
Yeah, it doesn't even make sense.
This is not happy by any means. In fact, it's going to get a little rough. It's going to be a little sad. It's going to be some bad news that I'm going to give to you. So I can understand if you don't want to be around for the show at this point, then you go now. And I don't mean that go in an angry sense. I get it. It's Sunday, you're enjoying your day. Nobody wants to hear bad news. But if you really want to hear, then go ahead and stick around. And what is that bad news? Well, it's bad, but unfortunately, it's really not news anymore at all. I mean, it's an epidemic level now where we have a mass shooting, not a shooting, but a mass shooting almost every week now. I mean, I don't think a lot of people realize. I think we have over 190 mass shootings.
199.
199 mass shootings.
If there was one today, that makes it 200.
Throw a party, man. And there will be. That is the angering thing about this. We will reach 200 because what's to stop it? I mean, we're not even in the summer yet.
Right.
Imagine that heat starts hitting on people. People really gonna lose their mind. Yeah. And really, the people who should give a shit don't. Okay, and those who do it's a struggle to get anything done. And I'm not talking about taking anybody's guns away. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not talking about taking anybody's guns away. I still don't think you need certain weapons out there. But to get to the point of what's happening here today, there was a shooting in Allen, Texas at a mall. You might have heard about it. Happened, last night? Saturday during the day? Yes, it's Sunday for us right now. So it happened just 24 hours ago.
Hope it goes without saying that our deepest sympathies are with the families of the victims. This is a tragedy. People will be looking for answers.
And you're not gonna get any, because there's a lot more business in death than there is protecting people, and especially protecting kids. People don't give a shit, man. I'm gonna tell you that right now. You can try to call this political all you want to, because that's what people do. In order to ignore it or in order to get what you want, people say, just quit politicizing people's deaths. I mean, why you want to bring this up right now? When the fuck you gonna talk about it? When is the perfect time to bring it up?
Right.
When there's another shooting and then we say, let's bring it up again the next time? As I said, I'm not trying to get into this thing about taking anybody's guns away. I don't, subscribe to this whole thing that everybody with a gun is dangerous. It's the kind of weapons that are out there. We're already proliferated with guns in this country. So it's unrealistic to think that we can do that at this moment, taking everybody's guns away. But you do not need military grade weapons in the hands of civilians. Mm-hmm. You do not need AR-15s in the hands of civilians, all right? Ain't no deer out there trying to shoot back at your ass. Mm-hmm. And, you are not in war with wildlife when you go hunting, all right? You do not need that to protect yourself. So with this whole thing of talking about, I'm not trying to take guns away from people. I resent that the gun industry is trying to force guns into people's hands. Yeah. That's what is happening here. And that's why I'm telling you that this is why things are getting worse, and they will continue to get worse. It's about to get scary worse. Because now they're exploiting fear and death and paranoia so much that they're telling people, no, the problem is not to take away guns from people. No, we need to put more guns out there.
Yeah.
Teachers need to have them.
Right.
You need to have them. You go shopping now.
Yeah, when they give teachers a bonus if they bring a gun to school.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it's a significant bonus, like several $1,000s.
So you mean to tell me you can't give them simple supplies for their classrooms, but you willing and ready to give them a gun. Teachers can't even get decorations for their class.
I know. Yeah. If you're an art teacher, you got to buy all those supplies for all those kids.
Can I tell you how?
Out of your own money.
Out of your own money. Can I tell you how stupid this is? Because this is not creating safety, y'all. This is creating more fear. This is creating more danger. And you're making a war zone now. Nobody should have to go shopping wearing them. We should have people being able to protect us. We should not have to go there trying to protect ourselves if we are not military trained.
And the shooters always go to the places that are going to be the easiest, where the people are completely unprotected.
Yeah.
The mall, a concert, a nightclub, a school. A church. It's always schools and churches.
And they are always going to be more ready to kill than we are. They're going to go there armored up. They're going to go there with military style weapons. And I don't care how good a guy, a woman you are with a gun. You're not going to be ready for that. You're not. And teachers got enough to worry about. How they can barely deal with these kids. They really can't deal with parents. And now they're supposed to be ready for a shooter to come in. They're supposed to be ready to protect the school, something the police should be doing, something the government should be doing. That's crazy. And I was talking to Casey yesterday, the teacher that came by. Yeah. And what happens when one of these fools flip out that has a gun at school?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, it's gotten to the point where teaching is a high stress job. And we see teachers getting into it with students all the time. And we got teachers, messing with kids, using racial slurs against kids. Now imagine they got a weapon on them.
Oh, of course. Of course. And depending on the age of the kids, some of them are violent. And a lot of the school districts don't support the teachers. They make it hard. A lot of teachers quit after the second year because they're like, this is bullshit. This is not what I got in there for.
I find that just stupid. I find that highly offensive that we don't support teachers. But the moment you got a political agenda where you can give them a gun because, again, we want to get more guns out there because it helps the gun industry, you're going to give them a gun after you couldn't give them the support they need to teach kids? That's highly offensive, man. That is sick. That's sick. But the gun industry doesn't care, man, as long as they get more guns out there. And that's why this is sad. If you don't believe me, if you don't think that, because I know this sounds like a conspiracy, but you sound like those people who say we have mass shootings so we can take guns away. No, people, it's not that hard to see that they have a huge lobbying system where they go in and get whatever they want because they're so powerful. It's the difference between, this conspiracy about trying to take guns away and then a business where if more guns out there means more money for us.
Yeah, that's not a conspiracy. They're pretty open about it.
They are very open about it. They're gleeful about it. Not bragging. They are giddy at this point. There are mass shootings and children dying, and gun manufacturers in the gun industry is happy to let you know in the middle of all this death, hey, guess what we got? We have a new AR-15 that can actually pierce Kevlar, and we're ready to give it to civilians. Ready to put this in the hands of civilians. You think I'm lying? I'm looking at this in Insider. A gun company is marketing a civilian version of a powerful new U.S. Army rifle. An Army rifle going to civilians. Yeah. The gun has become commercially available at a time of increased calls for gun control, following a series of mass shootings. I believe this weapon goes for like $4,500. And $4,500 may seem like a lot, but it's not that expensive if somebody really wants one. Especially for somebody that says, well, what? I'm not going to be around long anyway.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
The gun can tear through body armor at extended ranges, according to the Daily Beast. And cops were scared to go into the classroom with that last shooting.
Yeah.
Now imagine if you have a weapon. Yeah. Uvalde. And now imagine they have a weapon where they can actually pierce, Kevlar of people who, again, are trying to protect us. That doesn't mean, this is sick, y'all.
Yeah, it doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
This is sick. You got to stop. I don't give a about political parties. This makes no common sense. None at all. But everybody wants to be on the side of this because that's my team that's rooting for this. You don't give a about kids. You don't give a about safety. You probably don't care about your own safety. It's just as long as my side is winning, whatever they say, even if it don't make any sense, good. We can do it. They actually are starting to put out. They're bragging about putting possibly in the hands of civilians AR-15s that can snipe somebody from a mile.
Yeah.
And they're gleefully talking about this while people are dying. And some of these politicians not even trying anymore because now they can't say that shit, thoughts and prayers.
Yeah.
But they got one dude, they don't care anymore. Now they're just saying God. Hey, God take care of it because I ain't gonna do shit. They got a guy named Keith Self, Representative Keith Self. He
All by himself.
Yeah, I wish he was, but there's a lot of people think like him. He came straight out and said, well, listen, God will take care of it. And, that's the problem. If people don't believe in God, then that's your fault.
Well, those are people that don't believe in an almighty God. We have people, though, with mental health that we're not taking care of. Since this nation...
Like you.
Yeah.
And by the way, there ain't no mental health with him. I can tell you this man right now, he don't believe in God. It's this whole Christian label he's giving himself is a front. He's a politician through and through, and he's appealing to people that he thinks is going to keep him in office. And unfortunately, his hands are greased by gun lobbyists, or he just wants to appeal to the people who
will keep him in power.
Yeah, who keep him in power. The moment he says, anything about doing gun control, even if it's sensible, those people will be turned off, and they will not vote for him. That's what he's scared of.
The decision that we were going to close the mental health institution. I would like to stay away from the politics today because I want to focus on the victims. Today...
Stop. Yeah.
Straight off, you ghoul. All these people talk about, I want to focus on the victims, but they never do anything to help the victims. They know good and goddamn well there's going to be another shooting.
They always got the pivot of, I want to focus on the victims, or it's all about mental health. And but you're doing nothing for mental health.
Nothing at all.
And doing nothing for the victims.
Oh,
there's no compensation for the victims.
Oh, they're doing a lot for mental health. They're giving them guns. Yeah, you'll just say it's a pivot. Yes, it's a way to shift the conversation so they really don't have to tackle what's really happening. They know, they're not stupid. They know that this is a problem too. But their political careers depend on doing what they think people want to hear.
They need a reporter who will say, well, when you say you're going to focus on the victims, what are you going to do for the victims?
Yeah.
What exactly does that mean? You say you're going to focus on the victims. Give us a step by step what that means, what you're going to do.
And they'll say, well, we're looking into giving them better mental health care and all. They'll find a way.
Yeah.
They always get around it.
Go back to the talking points.
I've seen it. They are ready.
But it just seems like only somebody like Jon Stewart is willing to press the issue and say,
you're right.
Give me an actual answer.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why these reporters don't do this, man. Because I tell you, I don't fear any kind of politician. These people should not. It's something about politicians where people look at them and they seem larger than life and they're intimidated by them. These people need to start having fingers pointed right in their face, poked in the chest, and held accountable for all this shit that they're doing.
The reason why they don't go full in is because, we want them to have them back as a guest. That's what it is.
Yeah,
they're a player in this too, and so they're not going to go too hard. And they're like, well, thank you for joining us, Senator Self or whatever. See you next week. See you at the next mass shooting. So that's what happens.
You're so right.
It's rapport.
They go too hard, then they get the reputation like, oh, you don't want to interview with them.
Yeah,
it's
trouble.
Cut off.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I don't like any of these news services, man. That's why I don't like politics in general. That's why I can tell I'm coming from a sincere point of view. I don't give a politicians. I don't trust any of them, to be honest with you. None. I've had very unpopular ideas about a lot of very popular politicians, but I'm not going to sit up here and just try to get this whole appearance of, well, I got to be fair. No, there's one party that's more hypocritical than the other, and that's why I'm upset with this shit, because people are dying. They're actually talking about putting out these armor-piercing rifles, man. That's why I'm talking about things are going to get worse, because they're only making more powerful weapons because these people they're nuts behind them. I don't know what it is that these people they love the idea of having bigger, better, guns out there. I don't get the idea of these people taking, postcards, pictures on postcards holding guns, giving them out for Christmas. I don't get that. Shit, put a gun down and try to fight somebody like a man. I don't get this shit. And there's a lot of reasons why these people are behind this. I know there's not one thing. There's fear. It feels good. It's a political point for them. I understand there's a lot of reasons for that, but for those reasons, it's still stupid, because while people are dying. All right, children are dying, and your stupid ass is worried about a beer, a guy dressed in women's clothes reading stories to kids. You're worried about a word you can't even find. You know, you're worried about Bud Light. You're worried about M&Ms. You're worried about M&Ms ain't sexy no more. Oh my God, they got a transgender on the can of my beer. Shit, I was even talking this weekend about some people got mad because they started serving Beyond Meat at Cracker Barrel, and they ain't take nothing away from anybody.
Yeah.
Why you got all this woke meat up in here?
Meat. Oh, that's fun. That's the first time. I
Wow.
heard that.
Okay.
Everything but what really should be worried about. You worried about all this nonsense, except what really matters.
Well, it's because those topics are easy.
Yeah.
That's why they focus on them.
Yeah.
That's why you have all these these talking heads on TV always discussing them, ad nauseum.
Just because the Eminem girl got, more manly legs now, that's not killing anybody.
No.
It's killing your erection, but that's about it.
Hey, Rule 34 exists. Go ahead and enjoy yourself.
I will draw you sexy Eminem. Spread eagle, whatever you want. Yeah, it's stupid, y'all. I don't get it. But that is why it's getting worse, man. Because while these people out here, shifting the issue, ignoring things, people, we acknowledge full and well that this, there's going to be more mass shootings because it's a regular thing now. They're actually trying to put worse weapons out there in the hands of civilians. Now imagine if this stuff gets out, if the shootings are not going to stop, imagine how worse it's going to get if even the people who are supposed to protect us can't protect themselves. Mm-hmm. It's going to get scary, y'all. There's going to get to a point where, and it's going to be sad because something will change, but it's going to take a huge massacre for that to happen.
Maybe.
I don't know. Something will happen, but it'll be something huge, something that should not. Something
like a repeat of January 6th, another insurrection where they have those weapons and go even further than they did last time.
And the sad thing is, it's going to have to put one of their lives in danger. It's got to put these politicians who blow this shit off. Something's going to have to happen to them. It's going to have to be personal, because that's the way it always happens. They don't about anybody until it happens to them. Mm-hmm. Because that's how they are. Because that's how these people are. They don't, that's what's wrong with our country right now is that, especially with, and I'm sorry, I'm no big political party, but you Republicans out there talking about, freedom. But you know what? You can't have those books. You can't dress like that. You can't say this. You can't have this history. You are the biggest snowflakes out there.
Yeah.
It's not about, it's not about freedom. It's about your freedom. Everybody else. Somebody sent me something here about the Dalton shooter here. In addition, the law enforcement officials said Garcia had several social media accounts and appeared to be drawn to neo-Nazi and white supremacist content. Oh, really? He was wearing a patch on his chest with the right-wing acronym, but officials stressed it was too early in the investigation to ascribe a motive. Now, I want to be careful with this because white nationalists jumped on this immediately, and they were saying, see, it was a black guy that did it. It was a black guy screaming for Trayvon. And they took images where this dude, I guess he was dressed in all black, but they said, see, he was a black man. So I want to be careful with this in case this is not true. However, the majority of these, only about 8% of black people do something like this. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that we're not capable of it. Humans are I'm saying, it happened recently. So I'm not saying it's not possible, but given the history, is usually and we have exceptions, but it's usually a white male that does it, and they usually have some sort of right-wing extremist attitude or straight up racist attitude about it. Mm-hmm. I don't know what's going on. You take it all the way back to the Oklahoma bomber, he was very right-wing and anti-government, Caitlin McGee. Corey, Martin, Chris. What can I possibly say that you haven't already said? All I can say is that I 100% agree. To say I'm exhausted about mass shootings, understatement. It's such a huge issue of greed and lack of common sense, mostly greed. We went to the zoo today and I saw a guy who was wearing a t-shirt that said the price of freedom with a picture of an AR-15. Get the out of here. Yeah. What price of freedom is that?
Exactly.
That makes no sense. I would love to question the guy that has something like that. What does the AR-15 have to do with freedom? Because as far as I'm concerned, these AR-15s have cost more lives than cost freedom.
They've taken away a lot of freedom.
Yeah, freedom to live. Mm-hmm. These people are so desensitized and selfish. Care more about their guns than civilian lives. I'm so tired. This is another thing. People people, they're going to start following the advice of, you know, if you don't like it, leave. All right. You know, yeah, sure. If this country's going to if we're going to go down the shitter like this bad, then yes, we all should leave for a better place.
Yeah, get out while the getting's good.
Yep.